Since ancient times, absolute beings have created countless universes. They have brought forth countless souls and laws to control them. However, they grew bored of the endless cycle of creating universes and decided to enjoy their time differently. They came up with the idea of observing wars between their creations. The absolute beings found it entertaining to destroy their creations, which led to countless battles with never-ending killings and revivals of soldiers. One day, one of the absolute beings was killed by one of their own creations. The absolute beings from other dimensions learned about this and gathered in one place to observe the world that had lost its master. Despite the death of their comrade, they decided to claim the world for themselves and began making moves to see who would take it first. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to a school where Suho tells his friends that he has been accepted to Korea University of Arts. His friends are shocked to hear this, and one of them even starts crying because he did not get into the university while Suho did. Suho feels happy that he is finally free from high school, and suddenly Lee shows up. Lee congratulates Suho for getting into the university, but mocks him by saying that he never thought Suho was so talented. Suho mistakenly calls him Kim Song-chol, which makes Lee furious. Lee clarifies that his name is Lee Yun-chol and blames Suho for the reason that he did not take over the school. Suho calmly thanks him and mentions that he graduated thanks to Lee. Others notice that Lee is starting a fight again. The girls feel worried about how Lee could behave so meanly towards someone who is trying to live a happy life despite his parents being missing. Lee tries to punch Suho, but Suho does not give him a chance and kicks him in the face. To Suho's shock, the kick does not do much damage, and Lee smirks, saying the kick did not hurt at all. Lee throws a powerful punch at Suho, but misses and hits the lockers instead. Suho is shocked by the intensity of the punch, and the girls cannot believe that Lee made a hole in the locker. Lee himself does not understand how he has become so much stronger, and mana starts flaring out of him. 2 years later, Suho is on his way to Korea University of Arts. He notices a new gate that has opened at the university and reflects on how his classes have been moved to the side building. Hunters Association members are trying to control the students from getting closer to the gate. One of the members grows worried that the hunters have not come out even after 8 hours. Meanwhile, it has been 3 years since the birth of the gates in this timeline. The gates are passages to magic beasts, and a dungeon break occurs if they are not dealt with in time. After the gates appeared, humans began gaining special powers capable of wielding mana. These awakened beings are called hunters. Shortly after this, Woo Jinchul created the Hunters Association to control the chaos unfolding on Earth. Now the world is divided between unawakened civilians and awakened hunters. Meanwhile, Suho sits drawing and recalls how he was beaten by Lee on his graduation day. He knows that he cannot close the strength gap between an E-rank hunter and himself. Suho understands that the world would end if hunters do not close the gates, and that unawakened civilians cannot survive without their help. He begins to feel concerned that he is growing accustomed to losing things like his parents and how his survival depends on awakened beings. He feels terrible that everything he once had has been taken away from him, and a sense of helplessness begins to fill the hole in his heart. Suho remembers how his mother told him he is becoming like his father and wonders how his father would have escaped this feeling of helplessness. Suddenly, someone calls out to him, and Suho snaps back to reality. Lim looks at the drawing and becomes intrigued that Suho is drawing an ant. The drawing resembles Beru, and Suho is confused why he drew an ant that looks like a man. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the gate, where hunters are just emerging. The hunters successfully complete the gate, and Hunter Kim reports new information to the Hunters Association. He explains that he encountered a new type of magic beast inside the gate that resembles humans with blue flames coming from their eyes and mouth. Hunter Kim adds that the magic beasts attacked them with claws, but their attacks were not very powerful. Suddenly, blue flames start coming out of the wound on his arm, and he drops all his gear. He devours one of the miners, and the other hunters are shocked by what they witness. Another hunter notices that the blue flames resemble those inside the dungeon, and they too are devoured by him. Civilians start running away from the danger, but others who have turned into magic beasts chase them and try to eat them. Meanwhile, all the students hear a loud noise outside. Suho goes to check and is shocked to see humans turning into magic beasts. One of the students worries that it might be a dungeon break, and they all look to Lim for help since he is an E-rank hunter. Suho suddenly notices a magic beast looking at them and advises everyone to run. The magic beast jumps toward them and breaks through the window. Everyone starts running, and Suho sees a woman who has fallen to the ground. She pleads for his help, but Suho decides to run and tells her he will call hunters to help her. Suho runs away and feels terrible for leaving the woman to die. He feels helpless as an unawakened civilian, but resolves not to make excuses anymore. He tries to think how his father would handle the situation. Meanwhile, the magic beast reaches the woman and tries to devour her. Suddenly, Suho comes to her rescue and hits the magic beast hard with a fire extinguisher. He knows that his father would have done the same thing in his position. However, the attack does not damage the magic beast at all, and Suho feels confused about what to do since he knows that that the attacks of unawakened civilians are ineffective against magic beasts. Suddenly, time stops, and Suho receives a system notification stating that he has met all the requirements to complete the secret quest and is now qualified to become a player. Suho recalls how he received the same quest in his dreams and wishes for the same power to fight against the magic beasts. Without hesitation, he accepts the request, and the system notifies him that he has earned the quest reward longevity, which cures all diseases and dispels any poisons. The system also informs him that it will help him grow stronger and reminds him with a note that this is not a dream and that he has only one life. Suho feels excited that he has awakened as a hunter and receives a new quest to defeat the Mistburn in order to level up. Suho identifies one of the magic beasts as a D-rank awakened Mistburn, while the other two are unawakened Mistburns. He advises the woman to run away, and the two unawakened Mistburns charge at him. Suho imbues the fire extinguisher with mana and strikes a powerful blow to one of the magic beasts. He follows up with an incredible punch that sends it crashing into the ceiling. Suho cannot believe how much stronger he has become, and the system notifies him that he has defeated one of the unawakened Mistburns. He kicks the other unawakened Mistburn and defeats it with a single strike. Suho levels up and receives the second part of the quest to defeat the D-rank awakened Mistburn. Suho feels confident that he can defeat the magic beast and punches it in the face. To his shock, the magic beast withstands the attack and counters by clawing his chest. Suho starts worrying that he might turn into a magic beast like the others, but the system notifies him about the harmful substance in his body and cures his wounds. Suho feels relieved and watches as the magic beast charges at him to devour him. He realizes that he is an E-rank hunter since he is struggling against a D-rank Mistburn and feels unsure of how to defeat it. Suddenly, he remembers the system notification about rewards and accepts it, gaining 3 additional strength points. Suho uses all his strength points, increasing his total to 14, and punches the magic beast with all his might. However, the punch does not cause much damage, and the magic beast attacks him again. Suho decides to use all 5 of his reward points to further increase his strength to 19. He throws a powerful punch to the magic beast's stomach and feels grateful that he can level up and escape the usual structure of staying in the same rank. The magic beast gets back on its feet, and Suho follows up with another powerful punch to its face. Suho finally defeats the D-rank magic beast and levels up by 3 ranks. He feels confident that he can save many people and help resolve the crisis. Suho looks outside the window to see if anyone else needs help, and suddenly another magic beast jumps toward him to attack. Meanwhile, it is announced to everyone about the dangerous situation at Korea University of Arts. The military arrives to secure the area and ensure no civilians enter the university. One of the military personnel feels awful that he cannot save people and wonders when the Hunters Association will send hunters to deal with the magic beasts. Another soldier explains that the association is taking time to assign a B-rank hunter. The first soldier feels confused why a B-rank hunter is needed for a D-rank gate. The second soldier clarifies that the Hunters Association is considering the fact that a C-rank hunter got infected. The scene shifts back to Suho, who is heavily injured by the attack of the magic beast. The system notifies him that the magic beast is actually a C-rank awakened Mistburn. Suho realizes that this Mistburn is completely different from the other Mistburns he fought so far. He thinks that he might have a chance to defeat it since he leveled up again. Suddenly, the magic beast swings its sword to attack him. Suho barely dodges the attack, and the strike completely destroys the room. The magic beast smirks and tries to attack again but misses. Suho understands that he cannot defeat the C-rank Mistburn and decides to run away. He now realizes why awakened beings are divided into ranks and wonders when the hunters will arrive at the university. Suho resolves to hold the magic beast off until the hunter arrives. However, the magic beast finds a group of students and kills all of them in a single strike. Suho witnesses this and becomes furious. He realizes that there is no time to wait for the hunters and jumps toward the magic beast. Suho attempts to kick its face, but the attack does no damage. The C-rank Mistburn smirks again and slashes at him with its sword. Suho manages to dodge the attack and notices that a single strike could kill him. The magic beast charges at him, and Suho punches it multiple times. The C-rank Mistburn continues slashing at him, but Suho dodges every attack. He punches the magic beast repeatedly and lands a powerful kick to its face. Suddenly, the magic beast slashes him in an instant and sends him crashing into the wall. Suho coughs blood as his HP drops to 1. He knows the system still does not want him to die. The magic beast smirks and looks down at him. Suho struggles to get back on his feet, and suddenly a small crack begins to open in the space around him. The magic beast charges at Suho to finish him off, but Beru breaks out of the dimensional space and attacks the C-rank Mistburn. Suho looks up and sees an ant. Beru uses his healing magic to heal Suho and feels awful that Suho is in danger because he arrived late. He notices that the magic beast getting back on its feet and becomes furious that a lowly magic beast dared to attack his highness. Beru kills the magic beast instantly. instantly. Meanwhile, Beru proceeds to eliminate all the magic beasts around the university and returns to Suho. He kneels before his young monarch and feels grateful to see Suho again. Meanwhile, Suho wakes up in a hospital and tries to recollect his memories about the ant. He learns that he was asleep for 2 days. Suddenly, he receives a call from his uncle, and his uncle worries that Suho might have suffered grave injuries. Suho tries to assure him that he is fine, but his uncle decides to hire awakened bodyguards to protect him. Meanwhile, the entire South Korea is in chaos due to the discovery of new monsters, and the fact that mist burns can infect hunters and turn them into one of their own kind terrifies people. The mystery of how all the mist burns were killed confuses the Hunters Association members. Meanwhile, the scene shifts back to Suho, who realizes that his awakening is not a dream after seeing the status window. He feels a sense of happiness that he can level up, but becomes confused about how he survived the attack from the C-rank mist burn. Suddenly, Beru speaks up from his shadow and reveals that he was the one who killed all the mist burns. Beru, overwhelmed with emotions, and starts crying. Suho is shocked to see Beru and recalls memories he had forgotten. He remembers spending his childhood with many shadows and wonders why he forgot those memories. Beru explains that he crossed dimensions to meet his young monarch. Suho feels confident as he understands why he grew up surrounded by shadows. He asks why Beru is so small when he is supposed to be tall. Beru explains that crossing dimensions caused this side effect and insists that he is usually very dashing. Suho notices that the system shows Beru as a level 1 private grade, and Beru becomes furious that the system ranked him so low despite being martial grade. Suho thanks Beru for healing all his injuries. Beru explains that he is a skilled healer and came to Earth to release his seal. He is impressed that Suho broke the seal by himself. Suho questions if the seal is related to his dreams. Beru clarifies that it is not a dream and that Suho actually experienced everything. He reveals that Shadow Monarch Sung Jinwoo sealed Suho's powers and memories to give him a normal life. Suho is shocked to hear this and realizes that Beru is connected to his father. Beru explains that Jinwoo did not leave home but went to outer space. He shares the full story of why Jinwoo left and reveals that Shadow Monarch is at war with invaders who are trying to take over the world. Suho understands that his father is protecting the world. Beru informs him that Jinwoo is fighting the Itarim, who are gods of outer space, and that the Itarim are sending their apostles to invade Earth. Beru mentions that he fought many enemies before coming to Earth. Suho asks if his mother is with his father. Beru becomes confused and informs that she is not. Suho reveals that his mother went missing on the same day his father disappeared. Beru panics upon hearing this and guesses that the apostles of the Itarim on Earth might have kidnapped her. Suho feels terrible at the thought of never meeting his parents again. Beru asks if he wants to meet them. Suho replies that he does since he has been alone for many years. Beru explains that the Shadow Monarch will not return for a while. He urges Suho to level up to rescue Cha Hain and brings out a key. The system immediately responds to the key and notifies Suho about a new quest. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to Jinwoo, who commands Beru to go to Earth and unseal Suho. He worries that the Itarim invasion might have already spread to Earth. Beru decides to stay with Suho to help him grow stronger. Suho enters the Shadow Dungeon to begin his journey. Beru explains that the Shadow Dungeon is the land of the dead, where no one can enter without the permission of the master. Suho observes the Shadow Dungeon and thinks it looks more like a ruined city. Suddenly, the place feels strangely familiar to him. The system notifies Suho that the denizens of the Shadow Dungeon will never accept him as their master because he is too weak. It gives him a quest to survive for 4 hours to prove his worth. Beru advises Suho to stay on guard and warns that suffering will soon arrive. Suho feels confused by what Beru means by suffering, and suddenly a goblin attacks him. Suho senses the attack and kicks the goblin down. The system identifies the goblin as a scout type, and Beru worries that the goblin scout might call for its allies. Suho decides to kill the goblin quickly and charges at it. Beru thinks Suho is being reckless for attacking without a plan, but Suho explains that the goblin does not have any color on its name, meaning it is on the same level or weaker than him. Suho grabs the goblin's axe and kills it with a single strike. He understands that enemies stronger than him will have colored names. Suddenly, Suho and Beru spot another goblin scout nearby. The goblin calls for its allies, and a large number of goblins respond to the call. The goblins are divided into 2 types: goblin centurions and goblin decurions. Suho asks if Beru will help him fight the goblins, but Beru sadly informs him that he cannot help because he lost all his mana while traveling through dimensions. Suho understands that Beru cannot assist him and prepares to face the goblins alone. A few goblins charge at him, and Suho uses ruler's authority to grab the axe from the previously killed goblin. He swiftly kills 3 goblins with a single strike. Suho is intrigued by his new power to control objects without touching them and feels as if he has an invisible hand. Suddenly, Suho is attacked by an arrow Suho, but catches it at the last second. He spots a goblin with a bow and uses ruler's authority to create a bow structure. He releases the arrow back at the goblin and takes it down. Beru is impressed by Suho's adaptability and compares the young monarch's birth to that of a legendary hero from myths. He recalls how Suho's powers were once a hindrance during his childhood, but now those same powers are being used to save the world from the apostles of the Itarim. Suho continues, killing goblins and leveling up at the same time. He discovers that ruler's authority has a weight limit of around 10 kilograms. Suddenly, a goblin stabs Suho from behind and starts laughing. Suho punches the goblin and notices a goblin centurion slowly walking toward him. Suho pulls out a dagger and throws it at the goblin centurion with high speed. He feels more alive now compared to when he was unawakened and continues killing the goblins one by one. With each attack, his HP keeps decreasing, but he learns a new skill called resilience. Suho levels up by 5 levels and finally kills all the goblins within the 4-hour time period. Beru praises Suho for his adaptability skills, but Suho feels frustrated that Beru never helped him until the very end. Suddenly, the system notifies Suho that he has received rewards. He checks the rewards and finds a new runestone of shadow extraction. Beru becomes excited that Suho is already receiving the powerful shadow extraction skill. Suho notices that his wounds are already healed and realizes that he heals every time he levels up. The system also notifies him that the resilience skill increases his physical defense by 20%. Suho decides to accept the runestone and breaks it to acquire shadow extraction. Beru explains that shadow extraction allows Suho to turn dead corpses into soldiers like himself, and that this skill is the true essence of the authority that created the current Shadow Monarch. Suho thinks the skill resembles necromancy and knows that summon-type skills are not popular in the hunter's industry. Suho tries to use shadow extraction on the goblins, and the system prompts him to designate a command word for the skill. Suho feels that using a separate command is tedious and decides to use the word arise, just like his father.